Hey everyone, it's Pokechan here with another For Honor Beginner's Guide, this time for the Conqueror class. The Conqueror is part of the Knight class. It is a tanky, very defensive-based class that involves a lot of blocking and playing safe and waiting for your opportunities. And as with every class, the first thing you want to do when you get started with this game is go right into the move list and read up on what your character can do. Once you understand what your character can do and what buttons do what and what buttons you're able to press in any situation, you're already on your way to understanding and enjoying For Honor much more. Now, each class plays significantly different, so it's very important that before you make judgment on this game, you find the class that fits your gameplay style. Now, if you want to play the Conqueror as a fast, quick attacking class, you're going to lose most of the time, and then a lot of people will end up blaming it on the game, not realizing it's just that that's not what that class does. So as you see right away, this class is all about defending, getting those parries, losing, making sure that they run out of stamina if you can, and getting a few hits here and there. You have a lot of health, you have time here. Conqueror is a slow, steady paced character, so if you're just making sure you're getting your blocks, you should be able to eventually get enough swings in, especially if your opponent isn't able to successfully block. And again, like I say in all my videos, when you first start off this game, it's going to pair you with someone who doesn't really have much experience yet either. So just understanding the very basics, understanding how your character plays, making sure you're blocking, making sure you're using that reflex system, and understanding what that is. Now, what I mean by the reflex system is that this game, whenever you see a red flash, whether it's from a direction or whether it's the red shield, it's essentially testing your reflexes to see if you're able to block in time. If you're not pressing any buttons, if you're just walking around and you see one of that red flashes come from any direction, if you react quick enough, you should be able to successfully block every single thing that comes at you. And then all of a sudden, if you're blocking everything and you have great reflexes, you're winning basically all the time. But of course, this is real life, we're all humans, so if you're in the moment of the battle, you're moving here and there, you're taking swings, you're running out of stamina, things are all hectic in the moment, all of a sudden you might not be hitting those reactions as soon as possible. Now here, after a long enough time of playing defensive, just not letting myself die, eventually get into revenge mode, where it's essentially like having an extra coat of armor where your attacks don't get stunned and you just get to follow through with your attacks. It puts you in a really advantageous situation, and it's really helpful when you're outnumbered, but even in a one-on-one battle, if you allow yourself to get into revenge mode, then you're in a pretty good spot. So of course, as the Conqueror, he's just nice and slow, trying to block as much as he can. Right there, he got the parry off. Now, parry's important for every class. In fact, everything's important. Feints, that's not really what we're here to talk about. But for the Conqueror, parrying is essentially part of a defensive style. So understanding how to parry and when to parry is very important. In order to parry, you need to be blocking in the direction that the attack is coming from, and right before the attack connects, you hit a heavy attack, and that'll parry the opponent's attack, giving an advantageous situation for you and forcing the opponent to take a larger chunk of stamina for that attack that was just parried. So if you wait until they're low on stamina and then parry the last hit, you might luckily get them into a staggered state or an exhausted state where you're able to take advantage of that and get some attacks in. So now again, Conqueror is a slow style, so we've only had 2 matches so far, and it's just pretty much slow and steady. Now we could go into stuff like shield bashes and what exactly this character does, but the point of this beginner video is just to kind of help the very beginners who don't have much experience with the game, just to see if you're blocking enough, if you're hitting those reactions, and if you're getting some attacks in, eventually you should get the win. It's all about making sure you're moving, making sure you're getting the reactions, and then hitting attacks here and there. Especially with this character, it's all about the blocks. So as you saw, that guy was really low on health, so he backed all the way up. Now he's just starting to go in with some heavy swings on both sides. So it's able to hit one, able to block another, then I was able to just get a couple quick strikes in. Now the Conqueror's quick strike isn't even really that quick, but it does have some nice mechanics to it, which you should definitely look up in that move list. Like I like to say, you can go to that screen, you can pause it, but in reality, every time you play, you're just going to get better from practice. I recommend getting in there, just understanding the very basics of what your character does. This is a defensive character in the case of the Conqueror. You want to block most things. You want to try to make sure you react on time for the guard break, so that way it kind of frustrates them. If you're reacting and stopping them from guard breaking you and keeping up a strong defensive game, they'll eventually start to lose patience. They might start coming at you with more wild swings, and then you can react a little easier with getting the free light attacks off. As you see, he's going from the right to the left, but he's going with the slow heavy attacks because he's just trying to get some damage. Now he is playing a class that's a little squishier, and he sees how much life I have. You know, he could be trying to go for some of the more fancy things, but of course he's new to the game as well. He's just learning, he's understanding the basic mechanics. So right there, he's able to guard break. You saw he tried once. He was out of range, so he went into range, tried to guard break again, but unfortunately my reactions were really terrible with guard breaking in general, so I didn't actually get that. He was able to get the throw off, but he didn't follow it up with anything because he's still learning as well. You know, as you get through these matches, as you practice, you'll realize, oh, I can follow up a guard break with a shield bash, or I can follow it up with a heavy tack, and after just enough practice, you'll start to learn more and more about what your character can do. Make sure to subscribe and stick around for more advanced guides and other For Honor footage. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.